Up, the debate continues over a new $1 trillion COVID-19 response package by Senate Republicans.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. As the coronavirus death toll in the United States approaches 150,000, lawmakers are scrambling to reach a deal on another relief package amid growing fears that the outbreak is expanding again. CBS's Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
Experts are warning that the coronavirus surge gripping the Sun Belt could spread further.
We can see the virus moving north, and we could see the test positivity rate rising in Virginia.
Nearly half of the country, 21 states, are now part of the federal government's red zone for rising COVID-19 cases. Coronavirus Task Force Coordinator Dr. Deborah Burke says more areas may have to impose restrictions like closing bars. She also believes some people should wear masks while at home in order to protect vulnerable family members.
And we are still seeing significant outbreaks occurring from birthday parties, graduation parties, family reunions, and I know no one intends to bring the virus into those situations.
Meanwhile, White House negotiators are still trying to reach a deal with Democratic leaders in Congress on the next round of coronavirus relief.
We'll be negotiating. It's sort of semi-irrelevant because the Democrats come with their needs and asks, and the Republicans go with theirs.
Talks are expected to resume Wednesday, but on Tuesday evening, both sides indicated they're still far apart on a number of issues.
There is no chance, there's zero chance America can get back to normal without the Cornyn liability protection.
It doesn't sound like anybody who wants to have an agreement or anybody who can pass a bill on the floor of the Senate.
And Major League Baseball is learning how difficult it is to reopen in the middle of a pandemic. The Miami Marlins season is on pause until at least Sunday after as many as 17 players and staff tested positive for the virus. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
On Tuesday, President Trump said the federal government is loaning Kodak $765 million to help it transition into a supplier of ingredients used to make generic medications. Governor Andy Beshear reported 532 new coronavirus cases today. That brings Kentucky's total to 28,126. 10 more people have died, increasing the death toll to 719, and Kentucky's positivity rate fell a bit by half a percentage point to 5.08%. We also learned of the first COVID-19 related deaths today in Knott and Martin counties and the third death in Bell County. Since March, Primary Care in Hazard has been testing for COVID-19, offering a no-cost drive-through service. In May, they started offering coronavirus antibody testing, showing if people may have had the virus months before. Today, they began offering an antigen test. So how does that test differ from the others? WYMT's Emily Bennett explains.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic started, testing is ramping up across the country, most using PCR tests, the nasal swab going to the back of your throat.
It is the most accurate test that is available at this time to test for COVID.
But now another test has become popular, the antigen test.
It's a little bit less invasive. It's more like the flu test. And again, we can have those results in about 15 minutes.
Primary Care in Hazard started offering this test Tuesday.
The one drawback to this test is there is a higher risk of a false positive.
Because of the lower percentage of accuracy, it is only for those showing symptoms or someone who has had a high-risk exposure.
A high-risk exposure means that you have been within 6 foot of someone for more than 15 minutes who test positive for COVID.
Results come back in 15 minutes. If positive, it is sent to the lab to be confirmed.
We do ask that you self-isolate until that confirmation test comes back and either confirms that yes, you do have COVID or no, you do not.
Health officials saying this test is the best tool available to quickly find an acute infection.
If we can do this test when you're early on and identify that a little bit earlier, it can reduce the risk of spread to people in the family of that person.
In Hazard, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the test does require a provider visit. It is no cost, but your insurance will be billed.
We saw a few showers and storms throughout the day today. Now starting to see some patchy fog build up heading into those overnight hours. We'll take you up to some of those cameras where you could see that fog building up. You can look along that UVA WISE camera where you can see that mixture of kind of that sun and clouds, a little bit gloomy there this evening. And then there's that fog there starting to build up. Looking into downtown Whitesburg, definitely see that fog already building up. So take it easy if you are headed out tonight. And even early tomorrow morning, we're definitely going to see that patchy fog throughout the morning hours tomorrow. Looking at satellite and radar, you can see most of the showers and storms have moved out of here. However, we're hanging on to a few of those up towards that big sandy region. Maybe a few starting to move into parts of Martin County, kind of just moving out of Lawrence County, just south of Louisa. Just some light showers. Most of the other ones have definitely moved out as that cold front has kind of moved through. It's going to actually stall over us heading into tomorrow, bringing more showers and storms into the mountains. 75 right now in Jackson and Hazard, 73 in Pikeville, 74 in London, 72 in Middlesboro, and into Wise. Dew points in the lower 70s, so definitely feeling pretty muggy out there this evening, or this for the overnight hours. That's also why we're seeing that patchy dense fog build up as well. We're going to see more rain heading into tomorrow, and especially for your Thursday. We'll be tracking a nice cool down with more scattered showers and thunderstorms heading into the weekend. I'll have your full forecast coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. Bars across Kentucky were closed today, and restaurants limited to only 25% capacity indoors. This is because of new orders from Governor Andy Beshear Monday to slow the increasing COVID-19 cases in Kentucky. While expected, restaurant owners say for 2 weeks this is sustainable just as long as the community continues to support them.
My biggest message is we have put up a tent. We have a lot of outdoor seating. We are taking every precaution. We're making sure that we disinfect. Still come out and eat. And if you aren't comfortable coming out and eating, going to to-goes. We don't care to bring your order out to you, or if you can walk in for just a few minutes.
Craddock says if they have to go back to to-go orders only, it could be disastrous for local restaurants. Governor Beshear is asking schools in Kentucky to wait until at least the third week of August to return to in-person instruction. Many districts are restructuring their plans, while others say they already expected a later date and originally had no plans to go back to school until at least September. Floyd County will start in-person classes September 8th, with online classes an option as well.
So our students and our staff and our parents and our communities, that's our biggest concern, is our health and safety. So we're going to take care of that first. Education's the next thing in line, and we'll make sure that our kids get as good as education as we possibly can do.
Adkins says all students will receive the equipment needed to work from home because there is no way to predict what will happen in the months to come. Tonight at West Perry Elementary, the annual Back to School Bash was held, drive-through style. Parents and students drove around the school, stopping at different stations. Staff gave out all necessary school supplies so parents do not have to buy anything for the school year. Save the Children also gave away bags of necessities such as food and toiletries and more school items. The drive-through ended with the teachers set up at stations so they could meet their students through the car window.
With the COVID-19, we know that a lot of people are unemployed. So the things and the resources that we can give through the school and to help ease that for some of our families, then that's our goal.
Perry County is starting school August 24th. They are offering an in-person option as well as an NTI option. High school football coaches, players, and fans got a little good news today. The KHSAA is planning for the season to kick off on September 11th. The original start date for the season was on August 21st, so the new date is only 3 weeks behind that. Pikeville head coach Chris McNamee says he hopes teams across the Commonwealth continue to keep their players and coaches safe before the season opener.
Well, we're going to do our part, and I hope that all the teams across the state are doing their part. And like I said, it's not anything that we've ever done before, and it's not exciting like a football practice is. But kids need to be out. They need to be working out. They need to do it in a safe way, and we're ensuring that. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we continue doing that so we can have a season.
The next KHSAA meeting is on August 20th at 9:30. In that meeting, the Board of Control will discuss if it's safe to move forward with the current plan. Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams says he will press to make more polling places available and count ballots faster in the November election than in last month's primary. You may remember controversy erupted when Adams announced that Louisville would only have one polling location for the primaries. Adams said it would be difficult to offer absentee balloting to the extent it was during the primary. However, Governor Beshear says he supports no excuse absentee voting for November. Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate Amy McGrath made several stops in eastern Kentucky today. She visited the summer food service program in Letcher County, where they provide meals for kids. Families pick up a meal kit that has 14 meals for the child. McGrath took a tour through the facility and talked to workers to see how the process works.
We don't know how long this coronavirus is going to last. We would love a vaccine to come quickly, but we need to understand that it may not. And we need to understand, in accordance with public health, make sure that we take care of each other.
McGrath also stopped in Harlan County to speak to retired coal miners and made a second stop in Letcher County to talk to educators. One person was injured and another arrested after a shooting in Pulaski County. It happened in Somerset last night. Deputies say this woman, 46-year-old Nancy Rainwater, shot a man during an argument before driving away. The victim received 9 life-threatening injuries. Rainwater was later arrested and charged with first-degree assault and wanton endangerment. Folks in Martin County have access to a new service. 911 Communications Director Jordan Wheeler announcing the county's utilization of emergency health profiles. These accounts are free to create whenever they are utilized, and Wheeler says they will help you and first responders.
If you're prone to falling or having strokes or anything like that, we're going to be able to know those kinds of things as long as you put it in that emergency profile. Or if you can't remember who, say you have an elderly person with dementia or anything like that, you could put an emergency contact in there.
Wheeler also says that the service is not limited to Martin County, encouraging all that have the opportunity to utilize this service. More and more people are discovering the trails at the Perry County Park. While Pathfinders of Perry County and Ben Brayman are excited, they have started to notice some issues. Brayman put out a post on Facebook after noticing motorbike and horse tracks. While they hate to turn anyone away, they say motorized vehicles and horses not only damage the trails, but can be a danger to hikers.
The danger is the element of surprise. I mean, you have someone on a horse turning a corner and a mountain bike coming at a high speed, or a runner coming at a high speed around a blind corner. It's going to put both of those users at danger.
Brayman says if you see misuse of the trails, to report it to the fiscal court or Pathfinders of Perry County. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, a busy couple of days for rescue crews in Oklahoma as heavy rain continues to cause problems. And Attorney General William Barr testified before Congress on a wide range of issues, including federal intervention in recent protests.
And we'll continue to track more rain moving into the mountains, also tracking a nice cool down by the end of the week. I'll have your forecast coming up.